Rafa Cabrera Bello of Spain plays a shot from a bunker on the second hole during a practice round prior at Shinnecock Hills. Warren Little, Getty Images. No player heads into the U.S. Open with more momentum than Dustin Johnson. The top-ranked golfer in the world not only won last week's St. Jude Classic by 4 shots over a field filled with major champions, but did so by carding an eagle from some 170 yards on the 72nd and final hole. Johnson regained the number 1 ranking with that victory, his second this season, overtaking world number 2 Justin Thomas, and he is seeking his second major championship. Johnson won the 2016 U.S. Open at storied Oakmont Country Club but failed to make the cut last year. Thomas also is chasing a second major title after winning the PGA Championship last year at Quail Hollow. The current money leader on the PGA Tour claimed his best finish in a U.S. Open last year when he ended in a tie for 9th. How to watch. Tee Times Weather Report. Other Americans squarely in the mix to contend include Jordan Spieth, Ricky Fowler and Brooks Koepka, the reigning U.S. Open champion with a 4-stroke victory and record-tying 16 under overall at Erin Hills, a first-time host, in Wisconsin. Since that triumph, Koepka had been working his way back to full health following a partially torn left patella tendon that forced him to miss 4 months, including this year's Masters, to start the season. He also had a streak of 8 consecutive top 20 finishes come to an end. You go from playing some of the best golf I've ever played to probably being at the lowest point professionally that I've been, Koepka said during his Tuesday news conference at Shinnecock Hills. The lowest point was the fact that I gained about 15 pounds. Looking in the mirror wasn't quite fun. Koepka is rounding back into form, however, with a tie for 11th place at the Players' Championship and solo 2nd place at the Fort Worth Invitational. He's ranked number 9 in the world, 2 spots behind Fowler, who is widely regarded as the best player without a major championship. World No. Or Spieth, meanwhile, won the 2015 U.S. Open at Chambers Bay, beating Johnson and Louis Oosthuizen by 1 stroke. Then there's Tiger Woods, whose tee-to-green game has been on the upswing as the 14-time major winner begins pursuit of his 4th U.S. Open title. The last of his major championships came at the U.S. Open 10 years ago, when, playing on a bum leg, Woods outlasted Rocco Mediate in an 18-hole Monday playoff at Torrey Pines. This is the final year of Woods' 10-year U.S. Open exemption. He missed the cut at his last U.S. Open in 2015 and finished tied for 17th when the event last was held at Shinnecock Hills in 2004. Woods, 42, tied for 23rd at the Memorial this season, but putting has been an issue. He's tied for 89th in strokes gained putting, and Shinnecock is infamous for its unforgiving greens. It feels good to be here, Woods, ranked number 80 in the world, said during a news conference earlier this week from Southampton, NY. I've missed playing the U.S. Open. How to watch. FS1's early round coverage starts at 9:30 a.m. Thursday and 10 a.m. on Friday. Fox will have live TV coverage Thursday and Friday, from 4:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. On Saturday the broadcast begins at 11 a.m. Sunday's coverage will start at 10 a.m. The Golf Channel has Morning Drive live, on TV and online, Thursday and Friday from 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., and Saturday and Sunday, from 6 a.m. to 8 a.m. Live from the U.S. Open will air on TV and online Thursday and Friday, from 7:30 to 9:30 a.m. and 7:30 to 9:30 p.m., and Saturday, 8 to 11 a.m., and Sunday, 8 to 10 a.m. USOpen.com will live stream each round, beginning Thursday at 7:30 a.m., Friday at 8 a.m. and Saturday and Sunday at 11 a.m. Tee Times. Thursday, Round 1, Tee No. 6:45 a.m. Harold Varner, Matthew Pavone, Scott Piercy 6:56 a.m., Michael Putnam, Scott Gregory, Will Zalatoris 7:07 a.m., Brendan Steele, Chesson Hadley, Harry Ellis 7:18 a.m. Jonathan Vegas, Dylan Fratelli, Doug Gim 7:29 a.m. Louis Oosthuizen, Jimmy Walker, Justin Rose 7:40 a.m. Bubba Watson, Jason Day, Brooks Koepka 7:51 a.m. Tyrell Hatton, Danny Willett, Ian Poulter 8:02 a.m. Cam Chappell, Andrew Johnston, Daniel Berger 8:13 a.m. Bryson DeChambeau, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Matt Kuchar 8:24 a.m. Torbjorn Olesen, Shabankar Sharma, Patrick Rogers 8:35 a.m. Lanto Griffin, Tom Lewis, Jacob Bergeron 8:46 a.m. Christopher Rayton, Luis Gagne, Cole Miller 8:57 a.m. Mickey DeMorat, Tyler Strafossi, Callum Hill 12:30 p.m., Sam Burns, Brian Gay, Dean Burmester 12:41 p.m., John and Yu, Wenchong Liang, Brian Evans 12:52 p.m. Russell Henley, Aaron Wise, Peter Uihlein 1:03 p.m. Tony Finau, Luke List, Gary Woodland 1:14 p.m., Sergio Garcia, John Ram, Rafa, Cabrera Bello 1:25 p.m., Tommy Fleetwood, Francesco Molinari, Alexander Noren 1:36 p.m. Cameron Smith, Kyle Stanley, Pat Perez 1:47 p.m. Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, Tiger Woods 1:58 p.m., Haotong Lee, Si-Woo Kim, Kiradech Afebarnrat 2:09 p.m., Jason Duffner, Braden Thornberry, Brant Snedeker 2:20 p.m. Ryan Lumsden, James Morrison, Rikuyu Hoshino 2:31 p.m. Cameron Wilson, Will Grimmer, Philip Barbary 2:42 p.m., Rhett Rasmussen, Michael Hebert, Michael Block T number 10 6:45 a.m. Scott Stallings, Sebastian Munoz, Matthew Southgate 6:56 a.m. Trey Mullinax, Matt Parziali, Jason Scrivener 7:07 a.m. David Branston, Eric Axley, Tyler Duncan 7:18 a.m. Garrett Rank, Mackenzie Hughes, Aaron Baddeley 7:29 a.m. Alexander Levy, Brian Harmon, Patrick Cantlay 7:40 a.m. Paul Casey, Satoshi Kodaira, Brandon Grace 7:51 a.m. Zach Johnson, Charles Schwartzel, Patrick Reed 8:02 a.m. Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Phil Mickelson 8:13 a.m. Hideki Matsuyama, Mark Leishman, Ricky Fowler 8:24 a.m. Charles Howell, Bill Haas, Charlie Hoffman 8:35 a.m. Sing Jae-im, Russell Knox, Matthew Wallace 8:46 a.m. Shintaro Ban, Sung Joon Park, Timothy Wilkinson 8:57 a.m. Dylan Meyer, Salman Raza, Chris Nagel 12:30 p.m. Matthew Jones, Brian Fox, Shota Akiyoshi 12:41 p.m. Paul Waring, Theo Humphrey, Ted Potter 12:52 p.m. Richie Werenski, Roberto Castro, Ollie Schneiderjans 1:03 p.m. Noah Goodwin, Richie Ramsey, Kenny Perry 1:14 p.m. Keegan Bradley, Xander Schauffele, Emiliano Grillo 1:25 p.m. Lucas Glover, Webb Simpson, Graham McDowell 1:36 p.m. Ernie Els, Steve Stricker, Jim Furyk 1:47 p.m. Henrik Stenson, Adam Scott, Martin Keimer 1:58 p.m. Kevin Kistner, Ross Fisher, Adam Hadwin 2:09 p.m. Shane Lowry, Shea Reavy, Byung Hun 2:20 p.m. Lucas Herbert, Brian Stewart, Stuart Hagestad 2:31 p.m. Franklin Wong, Faue, Sebastian Vasquez, Michael Miller 2:42 p.m. Christopher Babcock, Timothy Wiseman, David Gazzolo Friday, Round 2, T number 1 6:45 a.m. Matthew Jones, Brian Fox, Shota Akiyoshi 6:56 a.m. Paul Waring, Theo Humphrey 7:07 a.m. Richie Werenski, Roberto Castro, Ollie Schneiderjans 7:18 a.m. Noah Goodwin, Richie Ramsey, Kenny Perry 7:29 a.m. Keegan Bradley, Emiliano Grillo, Xander Schauffele 7:40 a.m. Lucas Glover, Webb Simpson, Graham McDowell 7:51 a.m. Ernie Els, Steve Stricker, Jim Furyk 8:02 a.m. Henrik Stenson, Adam Scott, Martin Keimer 8:13 a.m. Kevin Kistner, Ross Fisher, Adam Hadwin 8:24 a.m. Shane Lowry, Byung Hun, Shea Reavy 8:35 a.m. Lucas Herbert, Brian Stewart, Stuart Hagestad 8:46 a.m., Franklin Huang, Sebastian Vasquez, Michael Miller 8:57 a.m., Christopher Babcock, Timothy Wiseman, David Gazzolo 12:30 p.m. Scott Stallings, Sebastian Munoz, Matthew Southgate 12:41 p.m. Trey Mullinax, Matt Parziali, Jason Scrivener 12:52 p.m., David Branson, Eric Axley, Tyler Duncan 1:03 p.m., Garrett Rank, Mackenzie Hughes, Aaron Baddeley 1:14 p.m. Alexander Levy, Brian Harmon, Patrick Cantlay 1:25 p.m. Paul Casey, Satoshi Kodaira, Brandon Grace 1:36 p.m., Zach Johnson, Charles Schwartzel, Patrick Reed 1:47 p.m., Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Bill Mickelson 1:58 p.m. Deki Matsuyama, Mark Leishman, Ricky Fowler 2:09 p.m. Charles Howell, Bill Haas, Charlie Hoffman 2:20 p.m., Sung Jae-im, Russell Knox, Matthew Wallace 2:31 p.m., Shintaro Ban, Sung Joon Park, Tim Wilkinson 2:42 p.m. Dylan Meyer, Salman Raza, Chris Nageltino 10:45 a.m., Sam Burns, Brian Gay, Dean Burmester 6:56 a.m., Brian Evans, John An, Yu, Wenchong Liang 7:07 a.m. Russell Henley, Aaron Wise, Peter Eline 7:18 a.m. Tony Finau, Luke List, Gary Woodland 7:29 a.m. Sergio Garcia, John Ram, Rafa Cabrera Bello 7:40 a.m. Tommy Fleetwood, Francesco Molinari, Alex Noren 7:51 a.m. Cameron Smith, Kyle Stanley, Pat Perez 8:02 a.m. Justin Thomas, Dustin Johnson, Tiger Woods 8:13 a.m., Haotong Lee, Si Woo Kim, Kiradek Barnrad 8:24 a.m., Jason Duffner, Braden Thornberry, Brent Snedeker 8:35 a.m. Rikuya Hoshino, Ryan Lumsden, James Morrison 8:46 a.m. Cameron Wilson, Will Grimmer, Philip Barbary 8:57 a.m., Brett Rasmussen, Michael Herbert, Michael Block 12:30 p.m., Harold Farner, Scott Piercy, Matthew Pavone 12:41 p.m. Michael Putnam, Scott Gregory, Will Zalatoris 12:52 p.m. Brendan Steele, Chesson Hadley, Harris Ellis 1:03 p.m., Jonathan Vegas, Dylan Fratelli, Doug Gim 1:14 p.m., Louis Oosthuizen, Jimmy Walker, Justin Rose 1:25 p.m. Bubba Watson, Jason Day, Brooks Koepka 1:36 p.m. Tyrell Hatton, Danny Willett, Ian Poulter 1:47 p.m., Kevin Chappell, Andrew Johnston, Daniel Berger 1:58 p.m., Bryson DeChambeau, Matthew Fitzpatrick, Matt Kuchar 2:09 p.m. Torbjorn Olesen, Shabankar Sharma, Patrick Rogers 2:20 p.m. Lanto Griffin, Tom Lewis, Jacob Bergeron 2:31 p.m., Christopher Rayton, Luis Gagne, Cole Miller 2:42 p.m. Mickey DeMorat, Tyler Strafossi, Callum Hill. The weather report. Thursday's forecast calls for plenty of sun with a high of 79 degrees and winds from the west between 10 and 20 miles per hour. Friday looks to be partly cloudy and slightly cooler, with a high of 71 degrees. Read more golf coverage from the Post, at U.S. Open, 19th century Shinnecock Hills takes on realities of 21st century U.S. Open traffic is a borderline disaster, and tournament hasn't even started yet. Patrick Reed conquers the Masters. Golf's greatest psychological test. New PGA Tour stop in Detroit would put Tiger Woods' DC event in deeper jeopardy.